A very, very good afternoon to you all. Hopefully, you're all doing well this afternoon. It's Russ Vernon here on the commentary hub with Paul James, and we're just going to take a quick preview of the Premier League clash tomorrow, which we're covering here on the commentary hub, and that is the game between Newcastle United and Arsenal. And I'm delighted to say that the man who's going to be alongside me for this video is going to be a man on commentary tomorrow, Paul James. And Paul, how are you doing today, mate? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm very well, thanks, Russ. How are you?
Doing good, thank you, mate. Going to be a good game, this one. Also coming into back rate on the back of a defeat in the Carabao Cup in midweek. Humbling defeat, shall we say, to West Ham United. 11 changes and none of the players, according to our friend and colleague Mike Ornman, cover themselves in glory. And they're taking a Newcastle side void of confidence after beating Manchester United by 3-0. You're covering this game, as I mentioned, for the commentary tomorrow. How do you see this game going?
Well, it's going to be a very tight one, Ross, and very, very difficult to predict. Both sides on their day have had wonderful seasons. Now, for Newcastle, they are missing Isak through injury, and his goals are going to be missed terribly. He's had eight Premier League appearances this season. He's only got 6 goals. So it's going to be a huge miss for him. Of course, Arsenal, well, they have their usual trio, Jesus, Martinelli, and Saka, all capable of getting goals, but also not to put too fine a point on it. Nketiah, with a hat-trick against Sheffield United, has also started to cover himself and make himself a real candidate for a regular first-team position.
Yeah, that is correct, Paul. But when you look at I know Arsenal made 11 changes in midweek, and Newcastle made a few changes as well in midweek for their Carabao Cup clashes against West Ham and Manchester United, respectively. But if we just look at Arsenal for a moment, Paul, they made quite a number of changes, 11 in total, and some of those you would say would be first team players in like Ramsdale. I know he's lost his number one spot at the moment, but he has played first team for Arsenal before. Ben White, Kirill, on the first team, Gabriel Zinchenko, then Vieira, Jorginho, Havertz, Nelson, Nketiah and Trossard all played first team action this season. And when they go to the team of West Ham's calibre, yes, I know West Ham are a good side and won the Conference League last season, but they've not been doing that well in the Premier League so far. Well, they are ninth, just a few points, 10 points behind Arsenal. So we Arsenal being 10 points clear. We'd have thought Arsenal would have probably had too much for the West Ham side, which featured likes of Bowen and Paquetá, Ben Rama, Kudos as well. And Arsenal didn't really turn up in midweek, and that's going to be a concern for Mikel Arteta, knowing they put out a strong side and they didn't turn up in midweek. And then going to a place like St James's Park on the weekend is not going to be an easy task for Arsenal, is it?
No, I mean, I don't think it mattered what the result was going to be in midweek, Russ. It's not going to be an easy game regardless. Newcastle have been outstanding this season. They've definitely been, in my opinion, apart from Manchester City, probably the better team in the Premier League performance-wise when they're on the game. They have had lull periods where they haven't played particularly well. And so consistency is perhaps an issue, but when they're on their game, I only see one team better than Newcastle at the moment, and that is Manchester City. As Arsenal will have their work cut out regardless, but yes, a bad performance during the week, that's something that Mikel Arteta will want to put right, though.
Yes, absolutely. But when you look at Newcastle, just touch on Newcastle a moment, fantastic win in midweek against Manchester United, 3 good goals as well from Eddie Howe's side. And Eddie Howe's come in. Yes, I know one of our friends, JB, says it's because of the money that's been thrown at it, but I don't think that is the case. But when you look at the side that Newcastle have put together and can rotate a number of first team players out of a side and have Trippier on the bench and come on in the second half just to show things up, and Callum Wilson can rest Callum Wilson, one of their main strikers, in a game against Manchester United, who are a tough opposition on the day if they perform well, which they've not been doing this season, Manchester United. But Newcastle are going places under Eddie Howe, and it was a fantastic result for them in midweek. And you know, St James's Park is a fortress. They beat Man City 1-0 earlier on in the season. St James's Park beat Brentford as well. Narrowly lost to Liverpool back in August as well. So they are putting some good performances together. The beat PSG there, which is no mean feat, as we know what sort of a side PSG are. And narrowly lost to Dortmund at St James's Park as well. So St James's Park is becoming a fortress for them. You must fancy Newcastle with their own form in the last few matches. Only 2 defeats in the last few matches at home, which is from August, from end of May, 18th of May onwards at home. That's going to boost Newcastle's confidence going into this one, especially coming up against an Arsenal side who was, let's just say, from what I've read from Mike Horneman, absolutely woeful in midweek.
Yeah, I think obviously Newcastle will be very confident that they can win this game. But I think Arsenal also have a lot of talent in their side. And yes, okay, they've had a very poor performance in the middle of the week, but I think they also have to feel confident that they can get something from this game. It's you can't go into a game like this with the talent that you've got in that Arsenal team and not go in thinking that you are a competitor in this game, that you can go and win it. As hard as Newcastle is and as difficult as it is a place to go, St James's Park, Arsenal have to go in there wanting to win the game, wanting to be positive and to create chances and to put this Newcastle team under pressure. If they sit back and invite the pressure, then Newcastle will kill them.
Yes, absolutely. If I just look at the last few matches between the two sides, Arsenal won there back in May 2-0. It was a 0-0 draw. The Emirates back in January as well. Last season, in 2021-22 season, Arsenal won 2-0 at the Emirates, with Newcastle winning 2-0 St James's Park. Back in 2021, it was 2-0 to Arsenal at St James's Park and 3-0 at the Emirates. And Newcastle have got a fairly good record, only losing the past couple of, only lost once in the last few matches at St James's Park in one of the most recent 2 games. So you must fancy Newcastle to win this. If I were to pressure now, Paul, for a prediction, then I'll get my prediction. And I know we've got a friend listening who says he predicts a lot of goals. That's Luke Tate, one of our good friends here with the commentary up as well. He says he predicts a lot of goals in this one. Luke, if you want to give us your score prediction, you can do as well, mate. But Paul, first of all, for you, score for this match?
Well, it's a very, very difficult one to predict because I don't think it's as cut and dry as one might think. I think there will be goals, but I'm going to sit on the fence on this one, Russ, only because I'm calling the game tomorrow. It's very tight, and I don't think it's going to be dominated totally by one team or the other. I think it's going to be very, very close.
So what's your final score prediction for you then, Paul?
I am going to go 3-2 to Arsenal.
Ooh, that's going to be see if Paul's right there. Luke is going 4-3 to Newcastle United. You're going 3-2 to Arsenal. So I will go 1-0 Newcastle.
So you're not predicting a lot of goals?
No, I think it's going to be a tight game. Mm-hmm. I know both teams have got goals in them, but I think with the Newcastle's defence that will be probably starting tomorrow, and defence that they're playing the Premier League have been really tight recently in the last few matches, not conceding many chances or many goals. I think they can marshal the Arsenal side well. I know, and yes, people will just say it's Sheffield United, and yes, you've got to beat the teams in front of you. But for me, I think Newcastle can shut out the Arsenal side, and I think they'll nick it late on with a free kick from Kieran Trippier late on to win the match.
All right. That's very specific, Russ.
It is. And you can find out if my score prediction is correct, or Paul's score prediction is correct, or Luke's score prediction is correct by listening to Paul James tomorrow. Kick-off for the match is 5:30, and you can hear it here on the other alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub. Later on this evening, Friday, join Nicholas Jones for FA Cup action as Sheffield United take on Walsall in the first round of the FA Cup as well. So, on behalf of myself and Paul, very big thank you to listening to this preview for this big game tomorrow between Newcastle and Arsenal. And we'll catch you later on this evening with Nicholas for Sheffield United against Walsall in the FA Cup from 7:30. From all the team here, goodbye.